All right, what's going on, you guys? What's going on, you guys? I know it's been a minute. I want to say it's been like July or something like that. It was right before I went to Milwaukee. Since I put out a video, I just been kind of busy, man, like real life issues. And it's been a lot going on. I'm now coaching my son's football team. I'll also be part of his basketball team. And that's what I got going on right now. So I haven't been as active. I know that, I haven't been as active, but I will be trying to put out a little bit of content as I have time to do so. And I like to put out content to inform, to be informative, and kind of share things that I'm doing or problems or issues that I run into. Maybe it can help somebody else out. I've seen a lot of other videos out there that people have had issues, problems, and if someone else runs into a similar thing, it can probably help you out. And another reason why I haven't been as active is because my baby, I think I'm gonna change the name. I'm not even gonna call her Sexy Red anymore. And there's a long story behind that. Like, I've had so many issues, and it's some of the same issues that a lot of other people out there has been having with their new 23 and a half, 24, 25 new Road Glide street glides. And for me in particular, I had an issue with I had the electrical issues, and I will just say that I wasn't the most pleased or happiest guy. And it just kind of put me in a funk, man. So at that time, I didn't even really feel like recording or anything, on top of all the other things in my personal life that I had going on. And I was watching videos, of guys having the electrical issues, as that was my issue with this 25 CVO ST. I had to, long story short, I had to get my main wiring harness replaced, and I had to get a new ECM. So my bike was in the shop for about I want to say a little over 6 weeks. And I made 2 payments on my bike, and trust me, if you know what it feel like your bike is down. Of course, I got my other bikes I could have ridden, but it's nothing like you got your new prized possession and you can't even get to experience the riding and all the features and everything that this bike has to offer. But I will say right now, for maybe the last 2 weeks or so, the bike has been running fine, but previous and prior to that, it was a nightmare. So let's just get into it. Really, we went out to Milwaukee, and like I said, ever since I've been back from there, I've been riding a little bit, but I have been heavily involved with my son's football team. Those guys, they're the #1 seed. They get the first round bye to the playoffs. So go boys, the 10U football team. My son's the quarterback, and he's out there doing his thing. But back to the bike, man. Went out to Milwaukee, and I will say it was a great trip. Met a lot of great people out there, the homecoming. And I know this is a little dated, but we had a great time. And I remember watching somebody's video, and I want to say it was Just GQ. That's my guy right there. Shout out to GQ. But he made a video one time where he was saying that everybody can't go on your road trip, because I have my own version or vision of how I want my trip to go. And that version or vision may not be the same that somebody else may have. So you got to be mindful of that. I still got my people, man. Everything is still good, but there was a little road fatigue and heat and everything like that that kind of stirred up tensions on the road. And man, it was an experience, but we all made it back safe and we all had a great time. That's all that matters at the end of the day. So I can't say, I mean, that trip was over, that total trip was over 5,000 some miles. One way it was like 2,000 something. So like I said, we're out in the Seattle area, so it took us 3 days to get there, roughly about 3 days. I tried to make the iron butt in doing that, but like I said, tensions were high on the road. Everybody's stamina wasn't up to par, and that's not a bad thing. Like, some people can ride a certain way, some people can't, and that's not to knock anybody. But we didn't make the iron butt, so that was that. And then I got home. At the time, I already had purchased this bike right here. And I got home, I wanted to put this guy up here, and I wanted to put him up for a minute and just enjoy riding my new bike that I got. And being that it was so new and I had already seen a few people say that they were experiencing the electrical issues, I didn't want to take this bike on a long road trip. I wanted to ride it around locally first to make sure everything was good to go. And luckily I did just that, because everything I ran into from, like I say, around July up into around September-ish was a nightmare. But just to go over a few things, I had put a Thunder Max. I had a Thunder Max and a SPC Concept Elsinore 2-in-1 exhaust on here. And I thought it was my Thunder Max that had caused the issue at first. And come to find out, it was the main wiring harness. But the Thunder Max had, you know, the bike was running good. And it did throw some kind of code. I want to say a U2400. I forgot the code, but it's one that, and I talked to the guys at Thunder Max. They were a great help and they responded pretty quickly. It was some kind of code that just saying that the bike is not, or it recognizes that it's not the stock ECM. So it shows that code up there. I don't think there's an issue from having that code. It doesn't always be, it's not present. I think you have to go like in the logs and that code may come up. And yeah, so I had the Thunder Max on there. I ended up taking the Thunder Max off. I still have it. So quick note, if anybody looking for a Thunder Max, hit me up, and I may have a sweet deal for you. I ended up going with the Power Vision because that was released a little later. It wasn't available at the time. I like to have something that meshes a little well with the stock stuff, so I went with the PV4 instead. And I'll have some more information on that as to what I've done since having the PV4, because I've done a few upgrades there as well. And oh, back to the issues with the electrical issues. So I did have the Thunder Max on the bike when I told the guys that I thought it was a Thunder Max, but it was actually the main wiring harness. And I guess when they hooked it up to Digital Tech at Harley, they recognized I had my Thunder Max on there, so it voided my warranty. So they say. So I purchased an aftermarket warranty to make up for any mishaps that I supposedly caused by putting a Thunder Max on there. And before all you guys get into, oh yeah, you're gonna do this, that, hey man, everybody has their own personal preference. My bike wasn't running how I wanted it to with the Screaming Eagle tuner. It was giving so many pops and backfires, and I couldn't stand that. So I went with the Thunder Max. It had meshed that out but then I ran into the electrical issues. And long story short, I purchased an aftermarket warranty from, I want to say Discount ESP. Discount ESP, I have that on my other bikes. I have a stage 2 on this guy. I don't know what I'm gonna do to the white bike over there, but they are awesome to work with. I've dealt with them twice as far as having issues with my tires, and they were on it right away, no issues. And with this bike, like I said, I did do an upgrade, which I will bring to you guys in a later video. And let me see, that's about, is that all I want to say for now? I will be putting out informative videos, like I said, that could help somebody else out. I didn't want to go too deep, dive too deep into this whole electrical thing because it was a nightmare. Had me in my body, man, and I don't know who I was mad at. I kind of had like a buyer's remorse a little bit. I was kind of mad at Harley. I felt like they weren't on top of it to some degree, but I understand this is a new bike and it wasn't fully their fault. I understand it was a new bike, it wasn't really their fault. And yeah, they were working, they were doing their best. I can't bash my Harley dealership, man, because those are some great guys over there. And they were doing their best with what they had to work with. So they were in touch with the headquarters, and I actually had to call up the headquarters because they couldn't figure out the issue in the beginning. Like, they thought it was that coil over there on the coil pack side. They initially thought it was that, and they actually found a broken wire in there. A few broken wires under that coil pack. You know, they got that tight zip tie where it's like a 180-degree bend that goes back up in there. So they did find that. They replaced that initially, but there were still issues that were coming up, and they just decided to scratch, trying to troubleshoot every little wiring issue and just replace my whole main wiring harness. So like I said, we got that taken care of, and at that time, I wasn't mentally in a space to be recording any videos. I've done a few rides, but they were mostly all on my 22 Road Glide here. We've done a few local, 400-mile rides, something like that. I was gonna go to Arizona Bike Week. No, not Arizona Bike Week. Street Vibrations down in Reno, Nevada. I wanted to take this bike, but I didn't want to chance that. And I don't even, actually, at that time, I had just gotten the bike back. And I went to the Oyster Run, which is our local little bike event that we have out here. At the Oyster Run, I met some great guys out there. I also ran into Off Week Garage. He has a lot of informative videos on his channel. So if you watch his stuff, Off Week Garage, he has a lot of installs and stuff like that that he presents on his channel. So I would encourage you guys to go and check that out. And yeah, so that was just a quick update, man. And like I said, I put out videos when I can. I'm not trying to keep up with the algorithm, and I'm not trying to stress myself out. Get! He wants to be in the camera, so. So I'm not trying to keep up with the algorithm and all that stuff. I just try to inform people or give an update on what's going on with my riding, and yeah. So that's about it. I'm gonna just wrap that up. I've already feel like I've been rambling too much already. But I'll probably do an oil change on this bad boy. I did do a stage 2 to it. Hence why I got my aftermarket warranty and all that stuff. And I have a video that I put together for that. It's kind of an install. Not really a full detailed install video, but it's just something to show you that if you put your mind to doing something and you follow the instructions, I have a manual for all my bikes, so I like to get my hands on and do things myself. I've done a few cam jobs. I've done like 4 cam jobs already, so I'm pretty confident when it comes to doing that. I would like to get a little more knowledgeable and start doing some head work and stuff like that, but as I build up my confidence, maybe I'll get into that. And if you guys didn't notice, if you've seen some of my previous videos, in between there, I just had this little patio-ish type area, and I ended up turning that into a little garage space. So it's a little more convenient, a little more privacy. My stuff is not just out in the open anymore. Turn it into a garage. I got this ramp, got a sweet deal off of Marketplace, and got this ramp, and it's amazing. It has allowed me to do everything I've had to do without any problems or issues, and it made it a lot more easier. So, like I said, depending upon how the weather holds up, we are running and coming into our rainy season. So there are still opportunities to ride on some days, but not always the case. So that's about it, you guys. Just a quick update on why I haven't been putting out my videos, but I'll try to get to it. Like I said, if I have something going on that could help someone else, I'll put out a video about it or an update on something somebody else may be interested in doing to their bike. So, all right, so that about wraps it up. I got my dog here. He's being super needy right now. You guys got Dobermans, man. He's a super needy dog, so I'm gonna cut it off right there, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. Peace.